Good morning, Baltimore, and my so far 5 viewers. Uh, I wanted to just show you how to use Keurig cups as planters. So, Keurig cups, as you know, Keurig cups are both renowned for their convenience and reviled for their duration and one-time use. Um, some of our family members have Keurig cups, so we decided to see if we couldn't repurpose them into planters. Now, one thing, I have used them for planting so far this winter and this spring. One thing I've noticed is that if you leave the Keurig cup, now of course I open the top and I take out the coffee and the filter and all that stuff, but I've noticed that if I leave it intact, I get a lot of what they call, the roots tend to wind up around the base of around the inside of the cup. And that's something you kind of don't want. They call that root wrap. So what I end up doing is I remove so that I can see through. And that's a very simple process. Again, I have my really sharp little Wusthof knife. Be careful. We don't want to go to the emergency, especially during COVID, because it's quite busy there and we don't want to tie them up. So anyway, you just peel it open and make a hole through the bottom of your cup. And so what I want to do though, so that's the pretty easy part. Now, the next bit is how you fill that, because it doesn't have a bottom. Like, see, if I try to put soil in there, oh no, see, that's kind of hard. It just comes right out. Don't. So, and this especially with a lot of your potting mixes or planting mixes, they're very light. They're made up of organic matter entirely, some perlite, and a little bit of, I think, they've got a little bit of fertilizer in there as well. So one thing that's a bit problematic with that is it tends to, if you don't pack it a bit, it tends to fall apart. So the simplest solution when I'm doing this is I put the cup I'm about to fill with the hole through it into a cup that doesn't have a hole in it. And let me get a close up here. What I do is I scoop it with soil, and then I use my thumb and I kind of pack it down. And I pack it down and I pack it down. The one thing I don't do is I don't pack it down when it's wet. Okay, just like that. And then I put it into my, now I've lined these. These are your classic paper egg cartons. I cut off one of them. This is 10. Usually it comes in a dozen. I had to cut it off to fit into this black plastic container. And then I just put it in there. And voila. Again, the reason I won't wet these up until I actually plant them. And the reason I don't wet them up while I'm packing them is because that can actually make it too compact, and then if it dries out, it might stay that way really hard. So I pack it before I wet it, not after. That may be different from some things you hear on the internet. I'd encourage you to try different ways. This is just what works for me. Other than that, that's all I have for today. I'm probably going to use these as well in a later video to do a little bit of crack key method planning, but I'm still working on that one. So anyway, stay well, stay healthy, stay 6 feet apart from one another, and look out for one another. And have a great day.